Me, 30F, with my husband, 32M, of 8 years, found possible evidence of cheating. I'm devastated. I don't know where exactly to start. He is working late tonight, or that is what he says, so I thought I'd take some time to write in and ask for advice. Sorry for this being disjointed, I've been pretty emotional and crying a lot this evening. We have been together since college, married for the last 8 years, right after college grad for me. We were perfect for each other. Many friendships have come and gone, but we've always found contentment in each other. Both adventurous and did some traveling together when we were first married. We argued, but not a lot. We had kids. First, planned child, was 6 years ago, second, surprise child, and last is now 3. Since having kids it's been tough to get time together. Both of our parents live a few hours drive away. There aren't many babysitters we've found that can handle our rambunctious boys. Husband works a demanding, stressful job and has had to cancel vacation plans more than once over the last 6 years because of a terrible boss. We were seeing each other for what felt like minutes every day, and our children, while wonderful, demanded a lot of our time and energy. His boss changed about 6 months ago. Immediately his hours became more reasonable and his stress levels went down. Still long hours and travel some days, but better. We had evenings together again, but something was different. It felt like we were strangers, just roommates who had kids together. We were just so exhausted from the last few years that we must have spent a couple months using any spare time we had once the kids were in bed crashing, watching Netflix, etc. Just boring stuff, and all along I felt very disconnected from the man who was supposed to be my partner. So we talked about it. I told him I missed him. We had a few conversations about feeling disconnected. We hired a sitter, went on some dates, and things started to feel better. He's been more loving and attentive. He bought me flowers again. I was feeling so hopeful, like I was getting my partner back. About a month ago I noticed something I think I wasn't supposed to. He has been talking about this work trip coming up for a week in August. It's been a bit of a sore spot for me since in my mind summer is for family vacations, not work trips. But I've been being understanding. However, when he was in the shower his phone beeped, and I saw an email from someone named Allison entitled "Our Trip." I felt a little weird looking at it, but when I asked him about it he checked his phone and told me it was a spam email. I didn't think of it after that, but since then I haven't seen his phone left out again. I found something else about a week ago. It was a receipt for a jewelry store, and it was a sizable sum. Money has never really been terribly tight for us, but even I was surprised by how much it was for. I felt a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach and, I admit, looked for his personal laptop to see if I could snoop through his emails. But he'd taken his personal laptop to work, something he'd never done. I was getting nervous but somehow didn't want to bring it up with him. Maybe I was trying not to believe it. But this morning I found his credit card bill in his sock drawer. Why was he hiding it, you ask? There were transactions going back over the last month, all for stores that men typically don't shop at. I added them up and he has spent a few $100s on what looks like women's clothing and lingerie. I haven't seen anything from these stores in our house, so who are they for? He is working better hours but still away some evenings. He could be spending at least an evening a week with someone else. I don't know what to think, but I fear the worst. Is there someone else? Was I too unavailable when our kids were younger? Is he going on a trip with them? Is it this Allison person? What am I going to do if he leaves me? He's buying her presents, for God's sake. Doesn't that usually mean a man is moving on or falling in love somewhere else? I don't know what to do. I don't know any of his passwords, so I can't snoop. I could call his office to make sure he is actually there when he says he is, but if I talk to anyone I think I'm just going to start bawling again. He should be home in a few hours. What am I going to do? I don't want to raise my kids alone. I don't want to be alone. TL, doctor, we've grown distant since having kids. Recently I found receipts and saw an email that make me believe he is having an affair. I don't know what to do. Please help. Edit, the comments are making me very scared. I am thankful for everyone who is talking to me though, even when it's hard to hear. I've calmed down a bit, read, no longer sobbing, and I'm going to call my older sister to talk to a real person about this. She lives a couple hours away, but we have always been close, and she knows my husband well. I will try and update again later. Thank you again to everyone. Edit 2, I just had a very strange conversation with my sister. I told her everything, was getting really worked up and emotional and crying again. She interrupted me and told me, sis, it's going to be fine, you need to calm down and talk to husband when he gets home. I promise everything is okay. Hang up the phone, take a bath or something, calm down and wait for husband to get home. Then she said she loved me and she hung up. What the hell is going on with my life today? I feel like she just blew me off. She didn't seem to react to what I was saying. But most commenters here seem pretty sure that something bad is going on. I feel like I'm going crazy. Edit 2: right after I posted my edit about my sister and the phone call, my husband texted. He said my sister had called him and he was on his way home. I immediately freaked out because I did not feel ready to talk to him. I was super pissed at my sister for calling him, and to be honest, I felt like the entire world was falling down around my ears. I broke down. I didn't even know where I was, but when I heard the front door open I realized I was on my knees in the kitchen sobbing. My husband skidded around the corner, and when I saw him I just started crying harder. He dropped to the ground in front of me and started apologizing, and I just lost it. I started shaking my head and saying no 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 over and over again. I couldn't even hear what he was saying. He tried to hug me and I held my arms out all stiff, like a kid does when they don't want a hug, just holding him back. It took me a few minutes to register what he was saying, but he was repeating over and over, I'm sorry for scaring you, please listen to me, you need to hear what's going on, I'm not cheating, please listen to me, just over and over. I finally stopped and just said, what? I just was so drained and confused. It was good news. I saw some of the comments in the original post saying maybe it was a surprise and you folks get the grand prize. The story all came out. After our big talks about reconnecting, he called my sister for advice. My sister's idea was to have him spirit me away for a surprise weekend getaway while she and my Bill took the kids. She connected him to her friend, a travel agent, remember Allison? To get the ball rolling. The plan evolved into my sister and parents trading off with the kids for the week. The jewelry receipt is for a necklace, for me, to wear out to dinner on our trip. The credit card charges are for some fancy clothes and lingerie he got me for the trip. He took some of my clothes with him to get the sizes right and got a lot of help from the salespeople. He says they are my style, but they could be bags for all I care at this point. So why the surprise? My sister told him that it would be better if it was a surprise, because it would be romantic that way. She didn't count on me finding out early and assuming the worst. I have had mild anxiety issues all my life that have been worse since having kids, but this was the worst it's ever been. I've never felt so totally out of control in my life. He didn't tell me all of this right away. Some of it came out in that first moment in the kitchen. But when I realized it was not the end of my marriage, I pretty much became incoherent with relief. This is embarrassing, but I sobbed so hard that I vomited a little. At least it was on the linoleum. The rest he told me after I calmed down. We talked until late last night. He showed me all the emails, showed me our destination, we got excited together. I am not mad at him at all, which he is relieved by. Apparently my sister called him with a red alert, get home now before your wife calls a lawyer message. She knows I have some anxiety issues, so I may have to get after her about the decision to keep this all a big secret from me. Right now I'm too relieved to be upset. I am a little concerned by how unhinged I became. I think I need to work on that. It's not like me. What am I going to do if a real crisis comes along? Some people were saying that I'm codependent, maybe they are right. But that's for later. For now I'm enjoying my day with the kids and looking forward to my trip. Smile. Thank you to all the advice and good wishes from you all. I'm sorry for worrying anyone. You are wonderful people to spend your time ready to help a stranger through the screen. I hope your lives can all take an unexpected yet wonderful turn. Hi guys, I promise to love you if you like, comment, and subscribe. With what your edit says about what your sister said, I'm wondering if perhaps he has a surprise plan for you that she's in on? That being said, if you accuse him of cheating and he doesn't come clean about the purchases, you need to find a lawyer. I must have spent too much time browsing this subreddit. As soon as I read your update with your sister, my mind jumped to the most dramatic twist possible. If she's normally empathetic and isn't brusque by nature, that's a very odd way for someone to react to what you said. It definitely sounds like she knows something you don't. My 42M wife, 40F, of 17 years cheated on me and convinced me it's my fault. Please talk some sense into me. My wife had a one-night stand with some random guy at a bar a week ago. She is remorseful and told me about the very next day, and is willing to do whatever it takes to fix our marriage. We got to talking about it and she says she did it because she was lonely and missing me because I've been working overtime constantly for the last 4 months. Although she acknowledges what she did was wrong and 100% on her, she says it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't working so much, pretty much blaming me. I got laid off from my old job a little less than a year ago, leaving us in dire financial straits. Since she's a stay-at-home mom, I'm the sole breadwinner and I don't make enough without overtime at my new job to provide for her and our 4 children, 12F, 10F, 6M, 3F. I understand that my work schedule does leave her lonely, but there's no other alternative. And it's not like I enjoy working overtime. I fucking hate it and would much rather spend time with my family, but that's not possible at the moment. Add in the fact that I'm only doing this to pay the bills and keep food on the table, and I'm just blown away at how selfish my wife was. I understand that her loneliness is expected and I'm partially at fault due to my job, but for her to so recklessly throw away 17 years of marriage shatters me. What's worse is that we've never had one instance of infidelity or any serious trouble in the 20 years we've been together. Yet because I'm working overtime, she gets lonely, and then just jumps into bed with another guy because I'm not spending enough time with her because I'm busy keeping us afloat. Rationally, I know that my marriage is over. I can't ever trust her or love her again after this blatant disrespect and complete disregard for our marriage. But I find myself thinking almost entirely emotionally and wanting to forgive her and work through it, even though I realize that it would be the worst course of action for me in terms of my health and sanity. So really, I'm just here to ask you guys to talk some sense into me. I know that I have to divorce her, but this bizarre emotional haze is preventing me from going through with it. Please help clear it up for me and tell me the way things really are. I keep seeing her cheating as a consequence of my own actions, even though I know it's fully her own decision. I figure if I hear it from others, I might be able to see clearly and do what's best for me. TL, doctor, wife cheated, blames it on her loneliness from me working overtime. I know I have to leave her, but I can't bring myself to go through with it due to emotions clouding my mind instead of reason. Talk some sense into me. Marriages can survive affairs, but this isn't a good start. Her blaming you for her actions, not taking full responsibility for them, is a bad sign. Perhaps you working long hours made her feel lonely. But she decided what to do with those lonely feelings. She alone made the decision to cheat on you instead of cope with her loneliness in a way that wouldn't betray you. So don't feel any guilt. You did not do this. She did. And until she admits that, your marriage is in serious jeopardy. Well, my marriage is over. I just can't accept it yet. What she is telling you is complete bullpoop, we both know that. If she was so concerned with the amount of hours you were working, she could have found a part-time job to help contribute to the household financially instead of finding ways to get some random guy from the bar's noodle wet. WTF was she doing at the bar anyway when you have children at home young enough to need supervision outside of school hours? Divorce her and move the duck on. Her excuse is a load of horse hockey. Logically, I understand that, but I can't convince myself of it in order to actually do anything about it.